Right. So think about it this way. You staying in that lane, is it gonna stop him from feeding? That's the question, right? So if you didn't already stop him from feeding earlier, how are you gonna stop him from feeding now? Right?
Okay.
So if
Even
you
when I was there, he would. Yeah.
exactly. So if you think that you being there is not gonna stop him from feeding and you guys can't apply any pressure onto the enemy, then you should be trying to apply pressure somewhere else. If a situation like that arises where you're losing a lane so bad, then you can always like look to make a play somewhere else and like try to make something happen elsewhere.
Okay.
That's a lot better than losing 3 lanes. If you like our content, please do like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click the notification button below so you'll be notified when a new video will be released. So what are you looking for from like this coaching session for yourself?
I think map movement.
Okay.
Uh,
How to improve
the
on
macro.
that?
I think the macro game. The macro game is more important to me because I feel that's where I'm hitting a wall.
Okay, understood.
So like gaps in my macro game. Yeah.
Sure. Let's take a look at that then. What's your goal? Like, are you looking to get immortal? I guess that's what you said, right?
Yeah, I wanna at least get immortal.
Okay, awesome, cool. So I don't know if you know this already, but like Dark Will is a pretty bad hero right now, right? Like in general, in the meta, mainly because there's so many like of these like burst and silence heroes. Like for example, if you look at this draft, it's really hard for you to play Dark Willow against Tiny and Bloodseeker and Lion actually for that matter. Even Drow can just burst it. Every one of their heroes is so hard for you to play, except for the Venge, I guess. So that's one of the things where you might be hitting like a wall in some of your games too if you're playing a lot of Dark Willow. As a 4, it's just like not that good of a hero in the current patch.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one thing like I want to point out to begin with. So like when we play matchmaking and we're trying to win games, we're always trying to pick heroes that are good for the meta, if can, because they naturally give us a higher chance of winning the game itself.
30 seconds to
because you know they're just stronger than all the other heroes, and you have to do less. And you can have more impact. So this game you started with boots. Go ahead. What's that?
Oh, I was gonna ask you like what kind of heroes like meta in your opinion at this
meta
moment?
post 4s right now, I would say is like Tiny, Mirana, like Venge could even be a good position 4 right now. Also a position 5, which is really good. Let's see here. I'm gonna go through.
Okay.
Gonna look at like some of the stuff. Just a lot of heroes who have a really good wave clear, but also have some stun. You know, like Mirana, Tiny, they can move around, they can spam waves also very easily, like things like that, pretty much.
I think the reason why I pick I do actually like Tiny in the current meta. I can see where you're coming from because he has good lane shaft and he can essentially deal like around 1.3k magic damage.
And he's also a lot of chaos in the early game with toss, right? Like wherever you go, you can just toss someone into your team, put them out of position, and then boom, like they don't know what to do after that. So
but I kind of refrain myself from picking Tiny in ranked pubs for now for 2 reasons. One, because of course I'm still not mechanically super good at the Tiny, and the second reason for that is because at least for my bracket now I divine 1 to 3, which is the rough range I've been in. I feel that when I play Tiny, usually level 1 toss, right? So we try to find like openings in the positioning on the lane, then we try to toss back, right? And then try to get a kill or something like that, right? Or try to fuck with their lane equilibrium by blocking and stuff like that, right? But what I realized in my record is that if I don't pick a range hero on my off lane with my offlaner, they either tilt or they just lose the lane.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's fine, and that's what you learn from your bracket, which is good, and you stick to that. You know, whatever that if you feel is good, you stick to it. I think it's great too. Rubik is also another hero who's like kind of similar that can also be good.
My win rate on Rubik is too shitty.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I avoid using it. Yeah.
Right. So it's okay. Level 1, you warded this. Is there any particular reason you warded over here?
I wanna kind of see their small camp pool and their big camp pool.
Right.
So that I can either contest, and also I find it quite useful at the beginning room contest.
Okay.
To see if they have 3 people coming to contest, something like that.
What we're gonna do is from now on, like I want you to try to get this ward, because especially since you get boots, you're gonna get out faster, right? Try to get a ward out here or like over here. Wait, somebody messaged me. Okay, yeah, try to get a ward out like over here or over here because of two reasons. One, ward here will naturally let you see the support going to the pull, so you can either stop the pull or go on the carry, right?
Yep.
Or ward over here so you can see like how you can harass and when the support is going to move over here to go to the pull, right? And also these wards will allow you to snipe couriers as well, because you're going to be playing a lot on the left side over here, right? Because you're going to be like stopping them from pulling, or you're going to be you know, trying to hit the support. I
used to ward the left one.
Yeah.
The first one you mentioned. But what I noticed is that if the pulse 5 or the safe laner has a high move speed and they move out immediately from the start, they might, there's a small chance they will see me. But I guess in this game you are right, because Drow and Lions move speed is very slow, so they probably won't reach me. Yeah.
Exactly. So if they see you though, like you're gonna be able to see them too. If they see you, then you see them, right? Like you don't have to ward it. You can just hold the ward, right? But it's the idea of why you're gonna ward it there, right? Because this ward is not gonna do a whole lot for you, like if you're just seeing the camps only. Okay.
Because I didn't even my mentality is I didn't even want to let them know I have a ward on the lane.
Right.
Because if they see that I have a ward on the lane, if they click me real quick once I show and they show, my mentality is that okay, then if I'm away from the spot and we return to the laning stage and they notice that I do not have the ops, they know that I planted it somewhere.
Okay, so I will tell you one thing, you're really right on thinking about those things, but I also think that you're overthinking it. Okay, in this bracket, people are not gonna like spam click you, see the sentry, see the ward, you know, like de-ward you 100% of the time. Maybe they might de-ward you 20% of the time, 30% of the time, but you gotta understand that other 70%, the ward is gonna be alive.
Okay.
Right, and
I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, and that's gonna help you like win lanes because of it, right? Instead of just putting a ward that pretty much doesn't actually do anything. Like this ward in the end only will see the camp, but it doesn't really do anything. You won't help you like stop anybody from pulling or anything like that, or going on the end. Okay, so we're gonna watch this laning stage, and then I'm gonna see like how you play your laning stage, and then I'm gonna try to help you like realize some of like meta things or things that you should be doing that you probably won't be, that you aren't, and things that you are doing well, so you can continue to do that too.
Okay.
Alright. So start of the lane, you're playing on the left side, you see the range creep, you help kill the range creep, really nice, and the position 5 bottom is the Tiny. So now you kind of understand what his plan is. Like he just wants to toss you into the tower. You're just like kind of making sure he doesn't do that. And this lane is not that easy because, you know, it's Jaw Ranger. You can just harass your Centaur first, but once you're level 2, you're like really, really strong in this lane. And I think one of the problems is this guy went for Retaliate instead of Hoof Stomp. Like, he should 100% go Hoof Stomp level 1. So anytime like Drow runs in, he can just stun, and then you can toss your first skill on the Drow and take off all their HP.
Yeah, that's true actually.
So this guy like going Retaliate actually made your lane much like worse, because if he goes stun also and the Tiny runs in, if he stuns and you use your Bramble Maze, like you win the lane there too, right? Like the way that you win lane is by just removing a hero's like HP to like 30% so that they cannot run in anymore. Okay, so level 1, like you want to combine your spells together with your teammates, and that's where like it's nice if you know help your teammate, tell them, hey, get stunned, you know, blah bro, something like that. But it's fine overall. So okay, so I already see a really big problem here, and do you know what that is? While watching this, just in this game so far in your laning.
Okay. So from where's the problem beginning? Around here, is it?
All right. So I'll let you know, right?
Yeah.
So as a 4, our duty in the game is always to make sure the enemy can't pull. Okay. While my core is getting, you know, the lane back or pulling the lane back so that we have an opportunity to jump them and kill them later on. Okay. So you as a 4. Like it's nice enough to stay in this lane, but you should be focused on making sure that they can't get this pull ever, if possible. Okay. So at 1 minute in this position, like you casted your spell, you got the range creep, amazing. But in your mind, you should always think after you secure that range creep, you should be blocking this camp.
Okay. So I should walk there immediately.
Yeah, you
before
should
spawn.
walk there. You should block that, right? And if the tiny follows you, that's great. Then it's a 1v1, right? With your offlaner and the carry. And that also gives your centaur a little bit more XP. So he can hit like level 2 faster or whatever while you're still doing something important, like blocking the camp. Okay? Because what happens is people want to like push the lane out a little bit, so there's creep momentum on their side, like going into you, so that you guys can't jump them, and then they want to go and pull so that they can get XP. Because what happens is when the support goes and pulls, and the carry is like pressuring you with the big creeps, then he's gonna get all the solo XP, and then the support's gonna get the XP here, and you guys are gonna lose some creeps because some of the creeps will die to the pull.
Yep.
Right? So your job as a 4 is to pretty much make sure that this camp doesn't get pulled, right? And whenever you get the chance, that you're pulling this camp up here, so that you're the one denying creeps from the enemy instead.
Yep.
And getting your wave to like somewhere in this area. Because if the drow is up here farming, then she's always gonna be scared. Because you can run at her with Bramble Mace, Centaur can run at her, and then Hoof Stomper, and then she will just die. Right?
Yep.
But if the wave stays here, it's impossible to kill her.
I do try to block the smoke sometimes, but then maybe I had one thing wrong, because you pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
That I realized you mentioned that it's okay to leave the centaur 1v1 with the drow. Is that okay?
100%. It's
At
always okay.
level 1.
It's always okay. Because you have to think that when you're leaving them 1v1, they're getting solo XP. They're going to be happy with that. Right?
Okay.
And then
I think maybe what's running through my head was that I felt that the centaur couldn't outtrade the drow, because drow could kite with frost without incurring aggro at level 1.
But whether you're there or not, that's not going to stop the drow from hitting your centaur.
That's a good point.
Right? So your job is to make it harder for them to like progress in the lane. And how they progress in the lane is with the camps and the pulls. Right?
Okay.
And then you are like trying to manipulate the lane so that when you guys hit your power spikes, like then you kill them, right? Your power spike is not like going to be level 1 here. It's going to be like level 2 or level 3.
Yep.
Right? So you block this camp. Because you see what happens here is you don't block this camp. Right? And then 2 minutes in, this camp is like here, right? A good support, what they would have done is they would have stayed here, then they would have went here, they would have stacked this again, came back to the lane, then they would have shoved this lane out to you, and then they would have went here, pulled, and instantly this double stack will clear an entire creep wave, and your lane is lost.
Yep.
That's what would have happened.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So you see, like, and if let's say you do let this camp spawn, then you should make sure that that camp never gets double stacked. At least. Okay?
Got it.
Right. And then this camp here, you see how like the tiny keeps blocking this too.
Yep.
You see how he blocks it? It's amazing what he's doing. Because he's blocking this, now you guys can't get this lane back here.
Yeah.
So you need to be like kind of mimicking the movement of the enemy position 5 as well in this situation. Right? Because what your goal is to always get more XP than the opponent. Because then once you have more XP than the opponent, you can kill them like around level 3 or so. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, I really like the point that you mentioned about at level 1, centaur 1v1, the draw. Whether or not I'm there, I could not have stopped the kiting anyway. I like that point. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. I should have just gone there. That would be the optimal play.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, I want you to consider this as like the base point for every game though. Not like only this game because it's centaur versus drow. Like, there aren't games where you guys are going to fight level 1 and you're going to win a lane off of level 1. It just doesn't happen, you know? Like, the only way you can win a lane off level 1 is if you guys denied all 4 of the creeps in the first wave or something.
Yeah.
Which is not, like, realistic, right? And the opponent can always come back into the lane by just making pulls. So, you want to make sure they don't get pulls, and if, let's say, the enemy chases you while you're blocking this, then that means they're not going to block this big camp, and then you can pull this big camp later. Okay. Because so you should always think you need to add that to your arsenal of things that you know as a support, like how to manipulate pulls.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
And it's like the most important thing as a 4 and a 5.
Yep.
So now they go on you, they kill you, and your centaur also dies. Unfortunate. Because how I see this lane going is like you guys just like met in the lane, both teams, and you guys just stayed in the lane forever for like 2.5 minutes, right? So there wasn't like a whole lot happening, and then it's just like whoever's stronger at level 2 or 3 is like that's it. That's what's gonna happen. So But what
Okay.
should be happening is like you're doing this stuff, your centaur hits level 3 like earlier, you get level 2, and then you guys just kill the Jaw Ranger or something.
Okay. Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right. And obviously while you're doing all this stuff, like you want to be throwing some spells out, you know? Like either on the position 5 or the carry or whatever. Just throw some spells out so your mana is not full and you're just harassing and doing your thing.
Okay.
Cool. Just keep watching. 3 minutes. He tried to stack. You stop. Good. And now you guys are having like a really hard lane because you guys died twice. Like both of you died here.
Yep.
4 minutes. You're going for the rune. Really good help. Rune spawned top. You go back bottom. You actually TP back bottom because Centaur got gone on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see how like, you know, the Centaur is just like level 3. He doesn't feel very good at all.
Because of the death, yeah.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They get the bounty. And again he dies. Oh, this gotta feel terrible this game.
Yeah.
Stack the Ancients. You should be careful with stacking Ancients because you have like a Spectre, right? They're not gonna be able to.
That's true. Because our ancient clear is weaker than their Drough's ancient clear.
Yeah. And now you're back bottom. So yeah, like the way I see this lane and how it worked out is like you were just like leeching a little bit too much XP. And like because the way that you want this lane to go is like the more you play on the left side, the more that the Tiny can't actually do anything.
Okay.
Right? To your Centaur. Okay? So like I'm just gonna go back here and show you. Like the way you're playing is you're playing behind the Centaur and using the body of the Centaur, but in reality what should be happening is you should be like messing with the Tiny as much as you can so that the Centaur gets like a more of a 1v1 situation with the Jaw. So that he can get more XP. Because your goal is to obviously just secure the farm with the Centaur, right?
Yep.
But every time you play behind the Centaur, now you're like kind of like every time the Tiny comes in, it's like a surprise to you guys or something. Of whatever's going on. And especially when you go for the runes, like you gotta let the Centaur know, hey, you know, be careful. Like I'm going for the rune. I'm not sure if you like said that to him and he still died.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Usually I will ping the rune and I will tell the Centaur by voice comms.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because look at this Tiny. He's just like walking in and the Centaur is just gonna die like on this range creep. Like that's pretty disappointing.
He was pretty bad, but
yeah,
he was pretty bad. Yeah. From the leading, the way that he did the lane mechanics, I could tell. So
right. So here's like a perfect example. You take the bounty rune, really good, right? Now your goal is to like go here, play on this side, and like make sure you can see the Tiny and where he is, so that the Tiny can't go in and kill the Centaur anymore. Right?
True. He's likely to be right there. Yeah.
You need to be right here. You need to be helping this guy. You cannot leave this guy. Right? Like if you're leaving this guy, it's because you're TPing somewhere else to like help someone else get kills. Like if you're going somewhere, then you better be like TPing top to like try and get a kill on this Venge or something, because bottom is a disaster.
Oh, but because I wanted to get the second rune.
Sure. I mean the mid laner normally gets the rune, right? By bottling it up, the bounty.
Yeah.
So you don't need to go
Where's the
there.
Pango now?
It's
I think at this point I realized the Pango at the bottom, so I think I walk back. Do I?
Yeah, I mean the point is you don't need to go there anyway.
True.
Right?
Okay.
Like you just
this
take this
is wasted movement.
Yeah, you just take this rune, you go here, you need to help your offlaner, right? Position 4, position 5 is the same thing. Your job at the end of the day is always to make sure that your core is enabled and that he's gonna have a good game. Now you leaving him when he's having a terrible time is always gonna be like bad for him, unless you're just doing something so amazing somewhere else on the map. Okay. So you need to.
I have a question about the movement approach. So let's assume that I didn't make this inefficient movement up here to this hill. So after I took the first rune, right? Should I return to the lane by walking? If you go to the rune spot, should I walk south or should I walk east from the rune spot? So
mean?
the right the boundary rune. Yeah, should I walk? I should be walking to the east, right, to be safe, because I cannot see
Here?
Tiny.
Here? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Either
yeah.
one is fine. It just depends on like
Okay,
where
okay.
your centaur is, right? Like if your centaur, if you take the rune here, right, and your centaur is right here, then you should be okay walking up here, right? You still had a word giving you vision. So you could just
Okay.
walk up this hill, you have vision, you see everything. The point is like you need to make sure like you're coming in from back here, making sure the Tiny's not here. And if the Tiny's not here, like Tiny went somewhere else, then you're already set up to go from the back to collapse on the jaw right now.
Okay.
Right? You could already
Yeah.
put some pressure on her by like casting some spells and such.
Yeah, yeah. This is very bad movement from me. Okay.
Yeah.
This is wasting time. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just gotta make sure like you're always like messing with the enemy support and stuff, and then like letting your core have a good time, and then when you're higher level, you're going on the core and like killing them, or going on the support and killing them.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And like if you really feel like you can't do anything bottom, then it's okay for you to TP to like top lane and help your at least your safe lane get kills, right? Especially if they have like good spells. Like Lich has Frost Blast, Spectre has Dagger, right? These are good spells for you to cast your spells off of, right? Like get easy Bramble Maces. So if like you really feel like you can't do anything bottom at like 6 minutes, then feel free to just TP top and get some kills with your safe lane instead.
I think that there's a question that I struggle sometimes.
Yeah, what's up?
Hoping to get some answer. So, so if I at this point, let's say I decide that this lane is kind of quote unquote like maybe pointless for me to be here, would it still be okay? Because I thought like if I leave, Sen's gonna be alone 1v2, he might feed even more and draw might snowball. Or would it still be okay to knowing that to still TP top to make a play with the good spells that Lich and Spectre has?
Right.
So it's always a balance. I always struggle to.
Right. So think about it this way:
better.
you staying in that lane, is it gonna stop him from feeding? That's the question, right? So if you didn't already stop him from feeding earlier, how are you gonna stop him from feeding now? Right?
Okay.
So
even when I was there, he was
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you think that you being there is not going to stop him from feeding, and you guys can't apply any pressure onto the enemy, then you should be trying to apply pressure somewhere else.
Okay.
Right? But personally, I don't think you should have even been in this situation to begin with. You know?
Okay.
Like, but if a situation like that arises where you're losing a lane so bad, then you can always like look to make a play somewhere else and like try to make something happen elsewhere.
Okay.
That's a lot better than losing 3 lanes.
True. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Okay.
Alright, next thing. They go on your bottom. You kind of, make sure that you don't die. They wasted some spells. Good for you. It's 8 minutes now. You TP mid because some fight is happening. You were able to help a little bit and also get some kills. Nice. Great. I guess that's a good thing about like your bracket is like you guys can always come back into the game by just winning some clashes even if you lose some lanes. Because the enemy is like always gonna run in and like feed or something.
Yeah, they don't
like overextend.
capitalize. Yeah, they overextend and don't capitalize on their lead. They just throw it back.
So here you smoke, you go back bottom. Ah, you guys are back in the game now. You got good levels, you buy the tome. Spectre also comes bottom, really good. You guys play in the enemy safe lane, really good. Because this can lead to more kills, and it does. I mean, you guys got like Drow and Lion and stuff.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I'm just gonna continue to watch like your map movement, like you said. And this is really good so far. You're playing between mid and bottom, always ready to cast spells. Now you're gonna look to buy your magic stick or staff first because you're so rich. Either one is fine.
I think I went you first. I can't remember.
Yeah, you should definitely buy like whatever it is because you're so rich. I like the raindrop. It's really good against Tiny, and you keep playing bottom. This is really good. And this is how you guys are like actually coming back in the game because you guys keep attacking bottom area of the map.
And the draw still stays there, which is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Jaws
Yeah.
still staying there is terrible.
Dire's
Yeah.
bottom is under attack.
And then you go mid, you shove this lane out. Bottom enemy is there. You have a TP ready. So what's your mindset right now when you see like these guys pushing bottom and you're still middle? What are you normally thinking?
I wanna. So my mindset here is that I want to wait for them to overextend beyond a certain line at bottom.
Okay.
Beyond a certain line in the bottom T2, and
Okay.
then I'll be ready to TP bottom to commit because I feel like the current positioning of our team and their team is still not ready for me to TP. So I want to
Okay.
apply some pressure in middle and shove it so that I make someone respond here.
Okay.
And maybe reduce the number at bottom. Or at least
Okay.
apply tower pressure here.
Okay. Sounds good. That's great. That's great. That's really, really good. That's what I wanted
So
to
I'm at this
get.
point, if I recall, I'm constantly looking at bottom.
But
while
you
I'm
know,
doing this.
losing this tower, it would be really bad though, right? Like you're
Yeah.
looking bottom is good, but if this tower gets a little too low, you might want to TP in there and like cast a spell on the Draw Ranger.
Okay.
Because you don't actually want to lose a tier 2 tower at 14 minutes in the game.
I think ideally at this point, yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted the centaur to show on the lane. Then the even if they don't cross the line and the centaur shows forward, I might TP.
Oh, this is so good. Nice. Yeah, you end up TPing in and you guys wipe them because they're just trying to take a tier 2 tower.
I think they overextended too early in this game. Oh my god, I just got killed by the
Venge,
VS
right.
illusion.
It's a lot of damage. It's Venge Illusion
Yeah,
plus
it's a lot of
the
damage.
Drow.
It's actually a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's the
And he has
aura
two
from the
ravens.
Drow.
I think he's a core actually.
Yeah, he's a core. He's a core.
Yeah. So I did not. I think I did not realize that. I was like, oh, just a support VS. Then I realized, oh shit, it's not.
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah. This is a very awkward part of the map. I felt very awkward fighting here.
Yeah, but it's good though if you guys fight here as Dire. You
True.
want to be defending this area. You don't want to give them this area
Yeah.
away, or else they will just keep farming your Ancients, and your Spectre will have nowhere really to farm.
Okay.
So it's actually really good. I mean, overall, so far, like I just see you guys constantly like fighting in this area, so which I think
Okay.
is good. Like if you guys were fighting top, then I would be a bit more skeptical. But whatever's going on is good. Now you got Clumsy Net. I bet that's your favorite item.
Yeah. At this stage, yes. Best item. Oh my god, how did I die? Okay.
Bloodseeker, Rupture,
Oh.
and he has a Blade Mail as well, so you can't cast spells on him.
Dire's top tower.
So you were defending mid, which is also really good. Oh, you took the Shawl instead. Okay.
Roshan has fallen to the radiant.
And then they take Roshan.
Of course, because I use Scepter. I wanted to do
yeah,
the
heals,
first
yeah.
real quick.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's good. You should give it to your teammate, right? Your Clumsy Net.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The clumsy net.
Structures.
Yeah,
I was very greedy. I was keeping both depending on the situation.
very great indeed.
Because if my BLM is all cooldown, I would equip my net. But yeah, it's very greedy on me.
Dire's
And then you kill the Venge and the Bloodseeker who came in. Oh, let me go back here a bit. Okay, so you guys get the 2 kills here, really good. Then you have like all your spells on cooldown, right? What were you thinking,
Yeah.
like going in there anyway? Catching
Can
another
you
hero?
rewind? Maybe can you rewind a bit, then
Yeah,
play?
sure,
I see
sure.
what I was doing here. Where am I? So messy.
right
Where am I? Okay, I'm right here. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, so we kill VS, we kill Seeker.
Dire's
Oh, my mentality is to catch with Eel, with my team running behind me. But very greedy.
Right. So this is a mistake that a lot of supports make. Okay? Whatever you just did right now. And there's a
Okay.
way that you can stop yourself from doing this for good. Like that you will not do this ever again.
Okay.
Okay? So, do you know why you did this? Because you want to catch more people because there's others dead, right?
Yes, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, I think that was running
Right.
through my mind.
So-
I was like, oh, they're outnumbered. Let's go.
Exactly.
Maybe
So when a
something like
fight
that, yeah.
when a fight ends, or not when a fight ends, when the fight settles and you guys kill people, you need to check your cooldowns, right? If your spells are not on cooldown, not off cooldown, there's a very likely chance that all your teammates' spells are probably on cooldown as well. Okay? And even if you guys outnumber them, there's a very good chance that the enemy probably has their spells up because they just got massacred and they want to use their spells even if they're like being outnumbered, because they can probably trade their spells to kill like 1 or 2 of your heroes.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason why you ran in and why it's bad is because you guys killed 2 guys and you used all your skills, but you still decided to want to get more. when there's no
Okay.
spells up on even you yourself to begin with.
Yeah, this is
Like
very
even
really
if
on
you
me.
even if you use Yules and Bramble Maze, nobody can back you up to do damage. Everybody's ultis are on cooldown because they used everything to kill the Venge and the Bloodseeker, right? So in the
Yep.
future, when you see your spells and they're on cooldown, even if you guys outnumber them, you need to tell your team, guys, don't chase yet, just wait. And then once your spells are cooling off and there are only like 5 seconds left, then you can actually go back in and fight. Because your spells are a really long cooldown right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's gonna be the same for everybody else. So
Yep.
it's a really awkward situation, and like a lot of supports that I play with do this all the time and end up feeding away, like, you know, when you're about to get ahead in the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's very bad. Yeah. Don't know why I chased there.
Yeah. Alright, now you go back bottom. And then there's a fight breaking out on mid. You TP in because your teammates are getting gone on. Use the ulti first, really nice. You stun up this guy, really nice. You kill him. But the Jaw Ranger kills you, very sad.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower.
And then they're just like sitting on your high ground.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really need to tell you much about like how to cast your spells on Dark Willow, because I think you already got that down, right? Like, you know your combos, you know what to do, like who to go on, who's the like targets right now as far as I can see watching this game. So that is not a problem. So now I got Blink Dagger, and you just jump straight into the backline on the Drow, amazing. And I hope to see you be doing that every time you see Drow Ranger in this game. So how do you guys end up losing this game?
The Penguin and Centaur had no impact. So it's like 2 cores down. Yeah.
Right.
Penguin mid and and all their cores had impact. So
Right.
it's just a case of like we had only one core able to execute damage.
Right.
And
Okay.
plus me. Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you one more thing in this game that will help you in the future, right? So the moment you got Dagger, right, you're like freaking a beast, right? You can pretty much kill anybody. So this is the point in the game, or even early in the game, that you probably wanted to have some smokes ready, okay? So I assume at this point there's probably 2 smokes available. Either the Lich should have it, or like you have it in your shop available, right? So as a position 4, especially when you play heroes like Dark Willow who have such high burst damage, and you guys are like, you know, a little bit behind or whatever, you need to be using these smokes with like 2 or 3 heroes to try and pick off one of these cores that are going to be pushing lanes out. So that when you pick one guy off, then they're like outnumbered and they're not going to be able to make like this 5-man plays right away in the game. Okay? So the way how I see this game happening is like you're kind of like playing bottom, you're playing mid a lot, and you're always ready to fight with your team, but you're not making any proactive moves.
Okay.
So what helps in the mid game is, especially once you have your key items that allow you to kill people, is you need to predict where the enemy is gonna go with one of their heroes to push lanes out, and you need to kill them. Okay. Before the enemy can group up and do their stuff. So that it's like always awkward for the opponent. Right? So in this situation with your 2 smokes, you got Blink. I expect you to have like 2 smokes in your inventory. Tell your Pango, hey, let's shove this mid lane out, let's smoke. You 2 smoke, and you like run to your ward or something here, and you get a kill. Or you run into your jungle, find someone, instantly just burst one guy. That's it. You're only looking for 1 kill. To like, you know, buy some time, or like get 1 kill, then look for more kills like when, you know, 20 seconds later when your spells are up again.
Yeah.
And
can I ask
going
if we assume that let's say I want to execute that plan in mind, but you know, at this bracket, like a lot of them, they don't listen.
Sure.
What do you do with allies they don't want to smoke with you?
Well,
like,
there's always going to be someone in your team who's playing well and wants to smoke. It's normal, right? Like, for example, let's say if someone in your team is going to be playing well, it just has to be the case, right? Like, for example, Spectre, if he has Haunt and he's playing like well, you just be like, yo, Spectre, you have Haunt, right? Let's like you smoke someone else and the Spectre will haunt in, or you smoke yourself, Spectre will haunt in, and you guys will kill someone alone.
Okay.
right? Something like that. Or if you can, then just try to make some like plays on your own. Like try to find a lion, try to find a tiny or something to kill. I'm sure you can
Okay.
burst them, right? Like
Yeah.
with your skills.
Yeah.
So I think like that's also fine. I'm sure somebody in your team is willing to smoke with you. Because Willow's the kind of hero when you're this fat, like you can actually solo kill people.
Yeah.
So you just need like +1 person to help you kill that person. That's it. But it's good to like have this smoke so that you have that like tool available to you,
Okay.
right? So for example, in this game, like I watched the map. So you guys kill this Drow, great, right? Drow's dead for 50 seconds. What happens next? You kill 3 people. What happens next?
Yeah. We should take at least a tower of this, actually. Shove the lane.
Sorry, 4 people die, right?
Yeah.
And you have a clarity running, right? And then
Yeah.
you see 2 people TP bottom, right?
Yeah.
So this is a perfect time for you to understand that, okay, if 2 people are bottom, then we can do 2 things. We can either all go bottom and jump this Jaw Ranger right now. Like, for example, Spectre with Haunt, and you blinking in on this Jaw will probably kill her, right?
Yep.
That's one thing. Or the second thing is you go to this guy here, or sorry, these guys here. You smoke, and then you go top, and you kill whoever's here. Because now you know the guy's bottom can't be in the triangle either. Make sense? And while you're smoking, your Lich can plant a ward in this jungle now. So you guys can like also play in this area.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Because you want to keep making these moves like on the opposite side of the map of where your opponent is. So if every enemy goes bottom, then you can do something top.
Okay.
If the enemy goes top, then you should try to do something bottom. If you're like just trying to buy time.
Yep.
Right? Because you see how like you guys wiped them like four kills or something, and now somehow they're the ones still playing aggressively on you guys. And they're like coming at you and like killing you because you guys are not making any moves any longer in the game. Right? So if I'm you, if I'm the Willow this game, I'm always thinking like as soon as I see this Drow, I click her. She has no Manta. She has no BKB. I'm going straight wherever she is. I'm going to tell my Spectre to haunt and kill this Drow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm probably thinking in my mind. Alright, Spectre gets hunted. Drow gets hunted. Really good. He died to the illusion again.
My god,
that
illusion
is
again.
so strong, yeah.
My god, this illusion.
So strong, the illusion.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
This game.
Radiant's structure is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. My thanks.
Telling your team to play bottom, which is really nice. But they're gonna go into your high ground already. Now you should TP back. And here's also another perfect chance for you to actually TP back. Smoke the Centaur, he has Blink, and then you wrap around, go from the back. And because the Drow has Aegis, you guys can jump the supports instead.
Okay.
Right? Like, you need to be
Yeah,
doing these plays.
I've never done that play before.
Yeah, so here's
the
a
one that
perfect...
you wrap around. Yeah.
Right. Because like when enemies pushing high ground, the best thing to do actually is just wrap around and kill their other heroes.
Okay.
Like it's so good, and especially you have a Spectre, it's amazing. Like the moment you like you guys go into the back line with Stampede and Smoke or whatever, like Spectre's gonna haunt, everybody's gonna get instantly slowed, and they're just gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What ends up happening is you don't TP back, you don't smoke your Centaur, you don't wrap around, and they just like stay there and hit your tier 3, and now it's like it's like it's weird, right? It's just awkward. Like, they're just breaking your buildings, and you guys probably feel like there's nothing you can do here.
Yeah.
Until the enemy makes a mistake.
Yeah, I guess the problem, I think referring to what you said earlier is that waiting for them to breach the high ground and then doing something about it is reacting. Whereas if I had TP immediately rather than walking back, smoke the center and walk to the wrap around the back, that would be proactive. So I think maybe the percentage chance of winning off the proactive play is a bit more than the reactive play.
Definitely, definitely,
think.
because reactive plays is all about the enemy making mistakes now, and you capitalizing
Okay.
on that, right? Proactive plays is like you know what you're gonna do. You know that when you guys jump this backline, you're gonna kill this lion instantly, or kill this
Okay.
Venge, or whoever it is, and then your team
Okay.
can haunt in. Like, if I see Radiant lineup and they go high ground into Dire lineup with all 5 alive, I'm so scared for my life. If in high immortal bracket, what would happen if someone did that? There'll be a stampede off a haunt. Everybody's slowed. Lich ult comes. Pango ult comes. Willow is just like exploding everybody. And that's it. We're getting wiped 5-0, you know, instantly.
That's not happening here.
Yeah. So you guys need to like
Yeah.
think how to make the more proactive moves, especially once you have your items. Right? Like before you have your items, it's okay to play defensively, you know, get some farm, get your stuff going. But once you have your spells, once you have your key items, it's always about making proactive moves.
Okay.
All right. I think for this replay itself is pretty good. Because I don't want to like, you know, throw too much stuff into your mind right now to like think about. Because I think we got a lot off this replay. One of the things, the main thing I want to talk about was obviously like your laning stage, right? Like the whole stuff about stopping the enemy small camp from spawning or them getting pulls off, and you pulling the big camp yourself to get the lane back into the towers range, right? And not letting the lane stay in the enemy tower range. Another thing is you go boots level 1. You always go boots level 1 on Dark Willow? Is that your normal build?
The mentality, no. Depends on the lane.
Okay.
Obviously, if there are heroes like Tro and Pia, I get a 1 and then like Tangos and maybe Fairy Fire.
Sure.
But in this lane, maybe my mentality is wrong, but I'll explain why I went boots. I did not expect Tiny. I expected Lion Drow.
Okay.
Against Centaur Willow. So my mentality was that we are not going to out trade Lion Drow. Because they're gonna win the kiting game. So I want to play the game where I'm taking efficient trades either from the shadow and repositioning fast enough with boots.
Okay. So
or getting away from the kite. Yeah.
What if you, even if it was a lion, what if you had like, let's say 6 tangos and a healing salve? Do you think lion can still out trade you?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? Because he's pulling tangos to the mid laner, right?
Yep.
So what I've seen with Dark Willow players, the most annoying for me when I play against Dark Willow players is when they came to the lane with like 6 tangos, healing salve, fairy fires, and branches. And then like even I think he had like 2 fairy fires, 2 branches, something like that. I don't know. But like they come to that lane and just keep hitting me in the face, and they keep controlling both of these like camps. They just stay here and they just keep attacking me. And then if I hit them back, they use Bramble Maze on me.
Actually, the truth is that I would like to play that game where I buy the regen at the start. But okay, this is bad mentality. But the reason I don't do that is because I want net worth and I'm very greedy, and I didn't trust my centaur.
No, I get that, but
I don't trust my offlaner.
So the point, I completely agree with you. I used to be like that too, right? But then what I realized is that having boots doesn't give me more net worth. What gives me more net worth is when we win the lane. And how you win the lane is by, it's a war of attrition, you know? It's about resources. It's about regen, right? When the lion, when you punch this lion, when the lion comes to the lane with 4 tangos, and you punch him, and you have 6 tangos and a healing salve, and he gets out of the lane, now you're having a 2v1 versus the Drow Ranger. And then what? The Drow can't win the lane anymore. She can't do anything, right? So, and if the enemy can't win the lane, then your Centaur's free farming, or maybe you guys are getting kills now, and that's going to give you more net worth.
Okay, so you mean, in a sense, try to look at the longer term net worth rather than the shorter term net worth.
Exactly. And having tangles and salve also means you can probably stay in the lane longer.
Yeah.
Right? And that will also give you more net worth.
Okay.
It's more like when you're at position 5 and you see the enemy have 6 tangles and healing salve, you feel like you don't want to trade with him. Right? Because if you do trade with him, they're just going to go back, heal up, come back, and you're GG'd already. You can't do anything anymore. Right? Now, the courier is going to have to bring you regen. And if you do that, where you trade and you have regen, here's where that ward behind the tower is going to be amazing. Because you're going to be playing here anyway. You're going to be cutting off their path to the ward is going to be cutting off the path of the courier, right? Or like you're going to be cutting off the path of the courier. Then you can kill the courier. so they don't have any regen anymore.
Okay.
So that's how you outplay position 5 players.
Okay.
Right? You like hurt them a lot. They don't bring if they don't bring too much regen, and then you go back here, and then you like kill their courier when it comes.
Yep.
So your job is to outsmart the enemy as a support.
Okay.
Okay? So it's like a game of chess, right? Like everyone starts with pretty much the same pieces almost. And then you just have to think about like how to move the pieces in the right place. And you need to predict what the enemy is going to do too.
Yeah.
And if you stay one step ahead, you're always going to win because of that. Okay?
Okay.
Like in your bracket, people are going to be hella greedy with how much regen they bring to a lane. Like this Tiny came to a lane with like 2 tangles. If you were sitting here and hitting him in the face and not in range for him to toss back into the tower, he would cry. He would never be able to get any experience in this lane.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing. Lion would be the same thing, you know? That's just my opinion, like on how you can win a lane for your guy.
Okay.
Maybe the Centaur isn't even that bad, but like he just maybe like you just didn't actually help in the end.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think I'll try to adjust the itemization, and then there was some inefficient movement that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And my position relative to the centaur.
Yeah. But overall, what I really liked about your gameplay is like your spell casting is great, right? You know exactly how to cast your spells, who to go on, and also you're playing in the bottom and middle area of the map, right? That's already a big thing because that's gonna naturally help you win so many more games, and you keep drawing lines to tell your team to go bottom and take the tower, which is really good. All you have to do after that is just add on like the whole smoke thing, right? Like smoking with 2 or 3 heroes just to go into the enemy jungle and like maybe get some kills. So that you can create some tempo for your team.